What's up, everybody? It's Frederick Douglass Bussey. Today's episode of the Whiteboard Session, we're going to be talking about why you need to be focused on dominating your industry and why a recession is the best time to do just that. Let's go to work. All right. If you're watching this live, let me know if you can hear me in the comments. We've had some technical difficulties before. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. Give me a thumbs up or a 1 in the comments to let me know that everything is working for you, and that you can hear me just fine. If you can, we're going to dive into today's session because I'm excited to talk about this. A lot of people have been talking about the fact that there's a recession. The economy is a big deal. We're in political season, and so a lot of people are focused on that because of the election. The stock market has been kind of cratering in the last half of the year. It's been really rocky. We've had the whole crypto summer, and so a lot of people lost a lot of money over the summer because of the cryptocurrency markets crashing. And so there's a lot of angst and anxiety in the business world and in the market in general, because people are concerned about what is going to happen with the economy. And whenever that happens, wherever we have a recession, there is a typical response that a lot of businesses give. But I think it's a prime opportunity for you to be able to scale your business and to grow extremely fast, faster than you have been. If you've been stuck in a particular area or stuck with your revenue, then this is a great opportunity to be able to do that. Now, behind me, we talk about here the SkillLoosity Model, right, that we use in Icon Status to be able to help our clients to be able to grow. And one of the things that we are focused on is generating momentum, right? Now, momentum is important, but it comes as a result of doing 3 key things, focusing on 3 key areas, right? And so one of that is the mindset or your thinking around your business. The other piece is influence, which we're going to talk about a little bit today, and leverage, right? Now, when it comes to influence, one of the key pieces of this is actually your marketing. Just trust me, that's what it says marketing. It may not look like it. But when it comes to this recession sort of mindset and anxiety that a lot of people are experiencing, what happens is businesses tend to pull back on their marketing. They spend less. They fire or slash the marketing departments. The advertising budget gets cut in half, or they take fractions off of it because they're really concerned about spending. And they're thinking, what the thing we have to do is we have to pull back on spending. And the thing that I have found, and I remember I was talking to an expert of 40 plus years in the marketing space, and he talked about the fact that what he had seen trends over and over again was that companies would always pull back on the marketing. But in any particular industry, it didn't matter which one. The ones that actually leaned into investing in the marketing, instead of seeing it as an expense to be slashed, but they saw it as an opportunity to invest, those companies came out the other side of that recession winning the market and winning and dominating. Exactly, Shelly. Recession means opportunity. And so opportunity means that what you want to do is you want to seize that moment. And there's a couple of things that we can focus on today when we're talking about how to use a recession to become a dominant force in your industry. One of the things that you can focus on is shifting your mindset around seeing that as an expense and thinking of it as an opportunity, like Shelly was saying, an investment opportunity. And an investment simply means I'm going to put my dollars in here and I'm going to continue to see them grow and pay off in dividends. It's like a farmer. You're planting the seeds and you're waiting for them to grow. A lot of times, because in the recession, we're so worried about consumers not spending more or consumers buying less and being more judicious in their buying decisions, then we start to see that we have to compete with other people in an unfair platform. What we want to do is actually want to take that unfairness and turn it to our advantage. And so if you think of your industry or your market as a pie, right? Let's say you got this, and this represents 100% of your market. And let's say that you currently maybe only own 1%, right? of your market share. And let's just call it $100 million, right? $100 million in their market share. So right now, you are currently owning 1% of this $100 million market. Not a huge market at all. But if other people say that your biggest competitor owns 50% of the market, right? And so let's say they own 50%, but they cut their advertising budget. And so now there is a ripe opportunity to be able to shave off some of that potential, right? Now, if you are a company that's doing $1 million a year, 88 grand, 84 grand a month or so, right? If you were to increase your marketing reach to 2%, right? 2% equals $2 million. So you have doubled your market share just by doubling your return on your investment when it comes to your marketing. And there's a couple things I want to talk about with that as well. But understanding that if you're taking 1% away, this company is dominating, you're not going to worry about that too much. But here's the thing. If multiple companies are taking away their marketing share, right, because they are not leaning into the advertising, usually the dominant space the dominant company in your market has more of the mind share, more people know about them. But that doesn't mean there's not an opportunity there, right? If you can lean into that and understand the market a little bit better, learn how you can offer more value, learn how you can be more targeted in your messaging, be more creative and more innovative in what you're doing. Because remember, when people are pulling back, they're not innovating. They're not leaning forward. They're not being bold in what they're talking about. But you can do that through your marketing and increase your influence in the space. Now imagine that there are multiple companies. So maybe there's a dominant company that's there, but they're losing share here. And so you've got, maybe they're losing 15% here. You got another company that's got another 20% here, right? And you've got another company that's got 35% or 30, I'll call it 30%. The math works out roughly, right? So let's say that now they're down to 35% in their share. If you simply shave off 5, 10% from each of your competitors, right? By understanding the market a little bit better, you can go from being this 1% or 2% owner to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%. And suddenly now you own a quarter of the market share. And when you come out of the recession, you're going to be much better positioned to be more dominant. Let's say that now you decide that you've grown to that 25% and you want to buy one of your competitors because they're losing money, and you can see how you could take their assets and be able to do some things differently to be able to shift things in the space as well. Now you swallow this whole and you could go from 25%. Where are you? So let's say you're here and you've gone from 25% of the market share, but then you want to buy somebody who's got 30%, right? But you've eaten away at it. Now you're 20, you're bigger than they are. You want to buy them, and now all of a sudden you own 50 to 55% of the market share. You can find a way to dominate your space by simply leaning into that and finding that investment, understanding that there's opportunities everywhere. One of the other things I want to talk about quickly is the fact that what many of us do when we're thinking about business, we think that we have to spend more. When I'm talking about increasing your influence, it really means leaning into and understanding more deeply what your market is demanding of you. Because there are certain things that people are looking for. There's a thing we like to talk about called the thing behind the thing. What is it that people are really out for in your market? Whether it's in textiles, whether it's in tech, whether it's in goods or services, whatever the case may be, people are looking for something in particular, and you know how to offer that to them and lean into that to be able to solve their pain much more clearly and articulate it even better. There are so many different vehicles and ways you can do that. A lot of people are looking at influencers on social media, or you're looking at social media advertising, running ads in that space versus television or wherever the case may be. It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to spend more money. It means that you have to make your money stretch more. And the way you can do that is by making your influence more palatable, more powerful, by telling a better story, by articulating things to people in a way that is more clear, by exposing the gaps in services or delivery methods or the brands that other people, your other competitors may have, or even offering them things that people had never thought before, right? So your innovation in your messaging and in your marketing can allow you to become more dominant in this space. And that's something you really want to be thinking about. So it's not just about while your CFO may be or your accountant may be nibbling at their fingernails because they're worried about every dollar that's going out. You need to be looking at those dollars differently. How can I make these dollars stretch even farther? But it's not about shaving the expenses as much as it is turning those expenses into investments. How do I get a greater return on this dollar? Not just paying dollar for things. So I'm not just paying for heat or light. I'm not just paying a salary, but how can I make my employees more efficient? How can I continually grow in certain areas? There's other aspects we can talk about that when it comes to leadership, building your teams, sales and marketing, advertising, other things. But today we're mainly focused on creating more influence through your marketing in that way. And we've got a big event coming up on December the 6th, where we're going to talk about building your $1 million year if you're a six-figure business that wants to go to seven figures. And we're going to dive a little bit more deeply into some of these things, what we're talking about. But one of the things that I really want you to focus on is making that shift in your business to be able to create an exponential level and to really expand that influence in a way that really keys in on the gaps that are existing in your industry, in your market, so you can find a way to continue to grow and scale exponentially. We don't want to think linearly. We want to think exponentially with all we're doing. A higher level of thinking creates higher level outcomes and higher level results. Hopefully this has been valuable for you. Thanks to all of you who stopped by, whether you're on LinkedIn or Facebook. Drop a comment below. If you're watching this on replay, drop a hashtag replay. Let me know what you're discovering, what thoughts are being sparked by this whole conversation. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, please. Like or share this with someone that you think may be valuable for them, another entrepreneur or somebody on your team that maybe needs to see this and can spark some different thoughts and different conversations on how you can take advantage of the entire recession and start dominating your industry. Listen, when I talk about dominating, dominance is something that many people have a negative connotation around, right? We think a lot of different things. But you want to be, if you're not out to dominate your space, if you're not out to make a greater impact and really shift the way that things are being done, the way that people are being treated, the way that the world is moving in general, what are you doing? Because if you're not seeking to dominate, you're being dominated. And so that means that other people are dictating to you instead of you dictating to them and dictating to the world how things should go. I'm trusting you as the entrepreneur and the leaders to be able to understand how we can make this shift and really lead the world in the way that it should go. And that starts with a shift in our mindset and our perspective around taking advantage of what seems like a downturn and turning it into an opportunity. All right. If this has been valuable for you, then let me know what you've been thinking on the comments below. As always, I'm Frederick Douglass Bussey from Icon Status. Ever forward.